Welcome, everybody. This is the Hype Seat where real ones drop real strategy in real time. No scripts, no filters, no BS. We go live across TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So what you're hearing right now, it is raw, it's real, and it's happening as we speak. No perfect edits, no motivational theater, just unfiltered conversations with people who actually walk the walk. This show is for builders, leaders, and for people who want to create momentum in a world full of noise, pressure, and distractions. So if you're growing a business, building a brand, or just figuring out what's next, and you're tired of playing small or playing safe, you are in the right place. I bring on voices that matter, not because they're famous, but because they're doing something worth talking about. If they're innovating, disrupting, or leading with intention, we're putting them in the hype seat. So today in the hype seat, we've got Brandi Long. She's a top producing agent in Florida, marketing queen, a mom, and a wife. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. So first, like for people that don't know you, I want to dig into your background a little bit, and then we're going to talk about leads, juggling life and real estate with a family, and then also your social media success, what that looks like, and just some of your strengths and all of that. So let's start with your background. So I want to know the origin story, like maybe a blip about what you were doing before real estate and how you got into it.
Yeah. So I was a stay-at-home mom of two, and my husband is in law enforcement. So that was kind of like where I was. We struggled a lot, and I'm very grateful for that because it makes you really grateful for what you have now. But my mom was in real estate. She ran into some health issues. I basically swore up and down, hand on the Bible, no, I will never get my real estate license. And then she ran into some health issues. So, I'm like, you know what? I'll just come and clickety clack on the computer a little bit. I'll just help out around. No real estate license. And then 10 years later, we're here.
Yeah. Yep. I can relate to that a little bit. So like your local market, tell us just a little bit about that so people have some context and maybe like what's unique or challenging about it.
So we're very rural. I will also say I feel like we're about 5 to 10 years behind society. So like we still live in like 2015 vibes. Here I still receive an occasional fax every now and then. And then we have about 35,000 people. And we're not in the beach part of Florida. We're like in the cows and orange trees kind of Florida. So
yeah, I moved here. I did not realize there's cows here. There are farms here. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, my husband and my dad, they're both like farmers on the side. Like they both have cows and everything. So.
Okay, cool. So that gives us some context. Rural area, weren't planning on real estate, but here you are 10 years later. Love that. So let's talk numbers a little bit. So as much as you're willing to. So what kind of lead volume, sales are you seeing right now?
So I think right now we're at 125 closings for this year. And I think we hit 22 million. So it takes a lot of closings to hit that much. I know a lot of people hit that volume and they close like 30 deals a year. Our average price point is like $228,000. So it takes a lot to make a lot. So that's kind of like where our numbers, we consistently always hit 120 closings each year. And then we've had a lot of growth over the past couple years. So we're just starting to like leverage out and hire, people here and there. So
makes sense. Okay, cool. So right now, like what is your favorite source of leads? And maybe even describe like what lead generation looked like in the beginning and what it looks like now and what your current favorite is.
Yeah. So what it looked like in the beginning, when I entered this space, I had a mom that got licensed in 1999. So we were very old school. We bought Zillow leads. Mm-hmm. I respect it. Listen,
I did too.
Not for me, right? Like I can't just start up a conversation with someone I see in the coffee shop. I can't do that. I'm like an introvert. So it's not for my personality. However, I did it. I did the hi. And I was like, I don't even know what to say to you, but you're on Zillow. Can I help you? And so like I did all the things, and then slowly but surely we did Zillow. We did some other paid leads. We did mailers, and mailers are still a huge part of my business. That's the one old school thing that I've kept. And then over time, we've added, the beginning of last year, I started being more social on social media, and going really hard on that. And that ended up being a game, like it just changed my whole life, going really hard on social media. And then, so now our main lead sources, it's very organic. The only thing we pay for is mailers. And then we get a ton from Sphere of Influence and past clients. We do past client events, and then social media. So those are like, it's it's much more organic business, which is like really nice. It's really nice when you can attract leads and you don't have to spend money on them.
100%. And so that's an encouragement that I give to agents. Like, your business is not going to look the same forever. And I actually had that epiphany when I was 3-4 years in, grinding on cold calls, Zillow leads, all the things. And then all of a sudden I looked back and I was like, oh, whoa, the majority of my closings this year were from past clients and referrals. Like, I need to start paying attention to them. Yeah. and so it did. It completely changed my business. So if you're in that season of struggle of like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to slay it on the phones always? Like, no, not necessarily, unless you really like doing that. But a lot of agents, they're like, is this going to be forever? And it's like, no, stick with it. It doesn't have to be like that forever.
And there's like no hate toward people that buy Zillow leads, right? Like that is, I have so many agents that they have seen so much success from it. We saw success from it when we paid for Zillow leads, but it's just not something that was like, okay, that doesn't, because really my whole thing is like, I want to run my business how I want to, right? So many of us run it how we should do it and what everyone tells us we should. But like, okay, that is not a huge like personality trait. I don't like cold calling. I'm not good at that. Maybe if I were to practice or whatever, but I still just it didn't come natural to me. So I said, I'm like, actually, I'm not going to make that a lead generation pillar. I'm going to do something that fits with my personality better, because I'm going to make this business work for me, not me work for it.
And that's the beauty about real estate. It's like that. And I tell people, one of the main questions I get is, what's the generation source? And I'm like, well, that depends. What are your strengths? What do you want to do? What are you good at? And it really does, like, that's what's really cool about this industry, is that you can build it a ton of different ways. Like there's 100+ different ways to sell real estate. You get to decide. On the flip side, the challenging part of it is sticking with something long enough to find out, do I like it? Is it going to work for me, and all of that? So there's always pros and the cons of it. So we know that
most all lead generation sources, they work. Everything works.
Everything works.
As if you do it consistently. That's the whole thing. You can pick whatever you want. You have to just do it consistently. It all works.
Yep, it works if you work it. So right now, so you're in the where you're at in your stage of your career is social media and your sphere primarily. So walk us through your lead generation funnel, like from prospect, even if that's a referral, wherever it comes from. What does your funnel look like from initial prospect to conversation to getting the deal closed?
So I would say that has also changed a lot. There used to be, before COVID, you would have to talk to people more in order to gain their trust. Yeah. During COVID, like you didn't have to put a sign in the yard and there were several people calling you. You didn't have any relationship with people. They just needed the house. They didn't care about you, right? And now we're on this different side of COVID, and we're kind of back to where we were. And so relationships are more important. And so like having it, going in, expecting things to take a little bit longer, to have a connection, to know that I actually might not be their first choice, or might not be their only choice in realtor, and they're talking to other realtors. That's becoming more popular, which is fine. I love that. Like, find the person that's your vibe. But we're talking about like funneling it in, it's mainly our business right now. We don't have to chase. We can attract people. They come through, and then we just try to develop the most authentic relationship with them, and treat them as friends. And then, and usually that converts pretty well. Yeah. If you treat someone like a person and not just like, fine.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so a lot of relationship building and communication, I'm sure. And the agents that I'm coaching and training, especially when they're brand new, because I know it's part of your audience, my audience as well, are kind of all different stages. But for the new people, they're so focused, I find agents so focused on the scripts and, well, what do I say? I don't have all the information, when really it's like people just want to talk to another human and feel like they're being educated and they're cared about. Like,
Yep.
can I trust you? Can you help me? And so I like that you said that, relationship is a big piece of that. And that is probably the foundation of the majority of the time of whether or not someone's going to choose you.
Yeah.
It's not that you have
Yeah. I think that's why we do so well on social media too, because I don't try to speak to everyone. I say, okay, what do I want? Who do I want to write to today? Who do I want to post for? And I talk directly to that person. There's only one other person on the top side of that screen. And that's who, when I'm filming the listing videos, like, who is this buyer? Let me picture them in my head and let me talk straight to that person. And then it just connects. Like, you cannot try to attract everyone. You have to attract that specific type of person, right?
I love that. And we're gonna go deep into the social media and branding piece of it. So hold that thought, because what you said is fire. So absolutely we're gonna get into that. So, okay, tell me right now in your business, how much of your calendar is filled with prospecting? Well, and I kind of know the answer, but prospecting versus servicing clients, like knowing our audience, and you can even talk about the differences of prospecting early on versus prospecting and servicing clients now. So what does that look like for you?
So we actually just spoke to this. I was speaking to about my agents 2 weeks ago, and because one of them was like, I'm just too busy to like lead generate. And I'm like, you're never too busy to lead generate, right? Like, if we stop lead generating, we just, like, your business takes a really long time to like develop, but it is very quick to die, right? So when we stop lead generating or prospecting, whatever you want to call it, like, your business will start declining. So prospecting is still something. Now, it's not something that I time block anymore because I've developed habits, right? Like, it's not a time block on my computer. It should, if you have not developed a habit yet, but like, posting on social media, mailing, like mailers going out every single week. Mailers I love because like my team just does it for me. It's like one lead generation thing that I can just hand off to someone else. So like that gets done automatically. So mailers going out, specific social media posts going out, like 8 to 10 stories a day, at least one post in feed, one reel on Instagram, whatever that is. And then just being in my database and talking to people. Normally, I will try to hit that at night. Like, if I'm taking a bath or I'm doing something, I will literally go to my CRM and just like text or email 10 different people and say, hey, just checking in. How are you? And then that's my lead generation. So it absolutely does change from time to time, but like, it never stops being a part of my day-to-day activities.
Got it. Okay. So how much would you say right now with your lead volume? I mean, closing 120 plus deals a year, how much of your time is spent servicing the clients with your deal load?
A lot. That is like the main thing. I feel like that's one thing you can't really give up as an agent is I can't say, yay, you're under contract. I'll see you at the closing table, right? Like, yes, I have a TC, but that they still want to hear from me. So like I have to be very vocal and just very communicative, even if, and I might get some hate from this, but even if it's like my assistant sending text to my active buyers or my people that are under contract and say, hey, it's a Wednesday. I hope you have the best day. Let me know if you need anything. That's communication, right? It comes from my personal cell phone number. It's communication from me. Yeah. So I would say that's still the biggest part. Now, I don't have to do the paperwork. I don't have to do any of the behind the scenes, but I do have to talk to my people. And that is how the quickest way for a deal to die or a relationship to end is if I just stop talking.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you on that. Even if there's no news, I tell my agents this, that I coach and train. It's like, right now, some of us are struggling with listings that are taking longer days on market to sell, or there's a lack of showings. And it's like, and so as agents, we get, I don't have anything to say. It was like, yes, you do. No news is still news. That's still communication. That's still relationship building. So even when I have no showings on a weekend and no phone calls, call them up. Hey, had a light showing week. I didn't get many, like that. Yeah. That's still something to say. And at least that, they can know that you're in it, you're watching it, and you're doing there. You're
Yeah.
sitting there and you're doing something for them.
Yeah. Even like feedback is very uncommon these days. Like you just don't get feedback, right? Everyone's scared to leave feedback. And so when a showing happens, I try to get the feedback. If I don't get any feedback, I'm like, hey, there was a showing today. I'm still trying to get some feedback. Most agents are kind of scared to give feedback right now, but I'm still going to hound them for it. I'll just keep you updated. If I get any feedback, I'll let you know. Yeah. It is still some kind of communication. I'm still adding value some way, right?
Exactly. So another thing too, I know there's a lot, because as you develop in your business, you add tools or automations or people, to help you. But what is one tool or system that you use that has dramatically either increased your volume or made your life more efficient? Like what can you not live without in your business?
Okay. This is very raw and vulnerable. Okay. We switched to Google Workspace 2 weeks ago and I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. Okay. Like I am like, this was my CRM for 9 years. And then we just got it. I know, terrible. I know, but like, then we switched over to CRM. So my answer will most likely be like, it would be our CRM. Having just, even if you're not using it to the full like capacity, because that's crazy. Like these CRMs are crazy, but at least having the customers and like, here's my upcoming sellers. Here's my active sellers. Here's my people that have credit issues that I need to nurture. Having them all segmented out, just using the CRM for that changed the way I do business. And then Google Workspace has been a pretty cool tool as well.
Awesome. And so for Google Workspace, like what things has that helped you with?
Like the task, like being able to, and we use like an outside automation, like Zapier is like something that we really love, like connecting things. But the calendar, it being like super easy to share and like do things, like Google's just this all-in-one product, like tool. And I think the cohesiveness, because our business before was a very manual thing. Like there were always checklists, but like it was me doing the checklist item, right? Like, and so now having like a little bit of automation in our lives, we're like, oh my God, I did not even realize this was a whole thing. And that's why I say like, we're kind of stuck in 2015. It's Google Workspace like works really well. We moved from Outlook to Google Workspace and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I understand the draw. I get it now.
Yep. Integration is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's chat with the people who maybe right now are getting, 1-2 leads a week, or kind of struggling on that lead generation. It's like they want to be consistent. They have the drive, but they're just struggling with that, the lead generation part and finding the people to talk to, and they want to scale. What are just a couple must do right now practical things that you would give advice to an agent like that?
You have to find out your personality first. Like you got to run this business how you want to run it. So I would say like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And then chase those like really hard. You don't have to do 18 lead generation strategies. 2 are just fine, right? Even 1, if to start off with. So I would say my biggest tips for beginner agents are find your build habits one at a time, really good habits. And then the more conversations you have, the more closings you will have. So however that looks like, whether that being going to the coffee shop 2 times a week in the morning for 2 hours and working on lead generation, that is a lead generation as long as you're talking to people in the coffee shop, right? So like find what you want to do and just make it a habit of talking to people. If you love highlighting small business in your area, go to the small businesses, talk to the owner, take pictures, post things on social media, and it's going to get shared like crazy. Like if that's what you love to do, but you have to make it a part of your daily activity every single day. And open houses still work. Like I'm not a fan, but I will say they still work, right? So like hold open houses. They do not cost a lot of money to hold open houses. Get your social media done while you're at the open house, right? Like this is something I say all the time. You have to squeeze as much value out of one activity as you can. So whatever you do, you can accomplish 2 or 3 things while you're doing it.
I love what you said. And I tell the agents too that I train is that try to make your lead generate, like work smarter. Yes, work hard, but also work smarter. And that, like you just said, combining open houses with social media, combining your cold calls with, maybe you could also be doing, email follow-up, while you're like, combine, make it efficient and make it make sense, and have them all tie together so it makes your life easier.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the best point I think that you made is that the people who sell a lot of real estate are the people that have the most real estate conversations. That's it.
Yep.
And like you said, you get to choose what that looks like. So the more conversations you have, the more chances you are going to sell.
Yeah. You do not get a shiny badge at the end of life working 70 hours a week and like doing all of this. You know what I mean? Like, I've lived that life, right? And it's actively something that it's a habit that I built for a long time, of like my worth coming from like the hours that I worked, right? But I am having to unlearn that unhealthy habit. So what you get achievements on is like, how many families did you help, right? Like, how many lives did you impact? How much money were you able to get back from the commission that you earned? So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what the why is, right? And that is what keeps me lead generating every single day.
Yeah. And I think that's legacy thinking versus just the in the here and the now. I need money now. And it's like that. There's a time for that. We all go through stages where it's like, all you can see is what's right in front of you. All you can see is the bills piling up.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you're grinding so that you can get to a point where you can, not just have tunnel vision about where you're at and impacting more people. And you're going to get more fulfillment than that, or from that. You're going to be able to sustain these hours in the crazy life that is real estate if you have something bigger that you're going towards. So I love that. And we'll actually circle back to that as well. But let's dive into social media, because we get, I'm sure you do too, just a lot of questions on that, how to do it. How do you be successful in it and not burn out? So right now, your social media is popping, obviously, and you have figured out how to do it well, how to be authentic in it, how to get leads from it, and also stay true to who you are, which I love and really respect about you. So how did you build your profiles? Like, what platforms, are you focusing on? And, how do you figure all that out?
So obviously, when you think of like your area, like where are people at, right? You always want to find where your audience is. My audience is on Facebook, right? Like, I've been there since 2009, and that is where I just continue to stay. Now, if you look at my face, this is completely hilarious. You should absolutely do this. Like, if you go to my Facebook, you'll see like thousands of followers, right? But like, if you go on my Instagram, I'm like 702 followers. It's hilarious, right? Like, it's the same content. It's just literally different audiences, right? So, and like I say, we're in 2015, so we're still on Facebook. So I do get most of my leads from Facebook. And so the beginning of last year, I was like, what would happen if I just kind of started like posting in my stories? I had never posted a story in my life. I'm a millennial. I should have posted a story, right? But like, so I'm like, let me just try to post what I'm doing during the day, just so people like know. There was a couple of different purposes in that. I wanted people to know that I was working, and I wanted some people would call me and they would not hear from me in like 15 minutes. They'd be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm showing a house. Thank you so much. But I knew they were on Facebook, right? So if I could show them, like, I'm actually working, please don't bother me again. Like, I will call you back. It was partly that. So I was like, you know what? I'll just share my to-do list every day. I'll share where I'm at, what I'm doing, what I'm eating, everything. And crazy. I was like, I'll just give it like 90 days. Let's just see what happens. Right. Mm-hmm. So I start posting, and like the first week I get a listing. Like, I'm like, oh my God. And so over time, I realized that like, people want to work with people who work. But people don't know you work unless you show them that you work. Like, you have to prove yourself. And I hate that, but like, you do. And so that I continue to do those same things. Like, I continue to post every morning. I post my to-do list I am posting every time a listing agreement gets sent out. I'm doing a little boomerang of my listing agreement and saying another listing agreement sent out, because that is what brings in like business. Mm-hmm. Now that's just on stories. Like, on posts, like those are less often. Like, I don't do 8 posts a day, but I post at least once a day. And that is just something meaningful that happened in my life, something about my family, something about a lesson that I've learned, something about my relationship with God, something like a loss. Like, I will say, I'm literally going to be putting out a post tomorrow probably, of like, I lost 5 listings in the past 2 months because they wanted to list too high and I refused to take them. That's a post. I don't post just my wins. I post my losses because that is like that side of the agent we don't see. Like social media is a highlight reel. Yep. And I like to incorporate a little bit of loss in there as well to keep us all humble, you know?
Yeah. Well, it humanizes it. And I think people truly, because I feel like nowadays in the highlight reel of it all, like people actually are craving authenticity. You know, I know that's a buzzword and it's like, well, whatever, but it's true though. It's like, oh, okay, she's human too. She's not a machine. And so showing different aspects of your life, you're not just a real estate agent. You're not just a mom. You're not just a wife. You're not just, so you do a beautiful job of showing people, you know, letting them in as much as you want to. And that's another thing people, oh, I don't want to put my life, then put out there what you want to put out there. Like, I'm sure there's things that you're like, hey, like that, I'm not going to share about that or whatever. And that's fine. You can still be authentic to who you are and show up on social media truthfully, but not share everything in your life. So
yeah, that's like one of the things, like, that's why I always go back to like, what is your personality? I have this toxic trait of like, if someone smiles at me, I'm going to trauma dump my whole life story on you. So social media comes really easy to me where I can just because I'm like, whatever, if you judge me, you judge me. Like, I am who I am. That comes easy to me. So I have to lean more into what is easy for me. And that is why that works, right? That's why don't do something that's inauthentic to you. I'm not going to cause ill leads. I'm not doing it. It's not authentic to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So let's bring this down a little bit into a more practical land. Walk me through one of your posts that you crushed it on, like, and crushed it like you got a lot of engagement, or maybe you got phone calls from it or a lead or whatever. Like, what was the idea? How did you execute it? And what did you learn from that? And why did it go viral? Or
okay, it literally came around. I posted it last year, like yesterday. It came up on my memories. It was my biggest post of 2020. What was last year? 4. Yeah. And it was a post. It was nothing about real estate at all, and it got me so much. People reached out and they were like, I can totally relate to this. And I got a few deals from that because I connected with people. It was nothing about real estate. Actually, it was like my daughter had come to me. It was a selfie of me and my daughter. I cry every time I tell the story. And she was 12. No, hold on. She was 12. I had gotten a call from her teacher and she's like, Callie is just kind of like on edge. And I'm like, well, she's 12. So that's kind of normal.
Like, and there's angst happening.
Like, but she's like, no, like Callie is like, this is not her. Like she's really sweet. And so I call Callie. I was on my way to an appointment. I had just dropped her off at the house. I just got the call. So I was like, call Callie. And I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, what are you? And she immediately starts crying. And she's like, I'm just lonely and I miss you. And I like died. Like, I was like, I wanted to like, I'll quit all of this, right? Like, if it means losing my family, actually, I'm not actually going to go to the showing, right? And so I'm like, Callie, I'm going to finish the showing and then I'm coming right home to you and we're going to talk about this. And then we ended up talking and I apologized. I'm just very grateful that Callie felt like she could say that to me. And so I swore from that moment on, like, I'm like, I will try to never do that again. We do mess up as humans. But she goes on listings with me. She goes on showings with me. Like, I have said, I don't ever work on Sundays. Like, I will never book an appointment on Sundays. I don't normally work on Saturday afternoons. And I'm hiring a showing partner to take all the night showings away because, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to run this how I want to. And if it can't be my way, then it's just not going to be at all. And so that was a huge one because working moms resonated with it. And that's literally like, if you really want to target it down, like, that's kind of my target audience. I work with a lot of working moms like me. And so that one did good. I always get really, when I post something like a loss, like the post tomorrow will probably do amazing because it's very authentic. It's very also like, I want to work with people that are reasonable people, right? And that usually gets me, they're like, wow, that's so good. Like, that you're so confident in turning down listings. And then that usually gets me good business. So there's a lot just showing that I work, showing that I'm a real person. I will always be myself. If I mess up, I will say, please don't call me today. All my words are garbage. Like I'm just stuttering all over the place. Like I just warned you. And that's funny. Like people will say, oh my God, me too. And then you just create relationships. So
yeah, you don't have to be a perfect person for people to want to work with you. And I think it's also important too, to just note that like there's different seasons, right? Like you're in a season where you're able to hire a showing assistant. You're able to hire a transaction coordinator. And when you're first getting started in real estate, unless you have support or money coming in from somewhere else, sometimes, yes, you do have to make temporary sacrifices and do things, work late and whatever, field the calls you don't feel like it or whatever in the beginning. But the point is that you don't have to stay there.
Right.
And ultimately, like determine what your non-negotiables are. I think that's the mistake that people don't do, is that they burn out really quickly. And myself included, I've burnt out. I can't even tell you how many times I've burnt out in real estate because I wasn't clear on my non-negotiables in each stage of my real estate journey as I could have been. And so once I was like, okay, like I don't work on this day, or I turn off my phone at this time. And then being able to properly communicate that to my clients and set those expectations instead of that backfiring and then being like, you text me back at 9 p.m. last night. How come, like, where are you at 8 p.m.? And you're like, oh, so part of it is communicating properly. But the first part of it is determining what your non-negotiables are, what you're not willing to give up in order to get the success that you want.
You're totally gonna work more when you're first starting, right? Like you have to go through the mud, right? And so like for those agents that are also parents out there, I would say you have to remember why you're doing this, right? You're doing it to better your legacy, your kids' lives. But when you're with your kids, like be with them, right? Like if ever I'm working late on my computer in bed and Callie or my son Cole comes to me, he's like, hey, immediately everything shuts down. I put my stuff down. I look at them straight in the eyes. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, come sit on the bed and talk with me.
So hard to do that.
Like that's what we have to, you can pick right back up where you left off. Like I will literally, my customers know if my kid comes to me, I'm like, oh my God, Sharon, please, can just one moment really quick. I'm going to mute you real quick. My son needs me. And I mute it and I talk to him and I go back and they understand. And if they don't understand, I don't want to work with them.
Yep. 100%. Yep. I love that. Well, okay. So speaking of mom life, wife life, and just balancing all of that, because I know a lot of real estate agents have that. They either have a part-time job or they have a family or they, whatever, single parent, all of the things. And you are kind of all of the above and just wearing multiple hats as wives and women often do. So talk us through like a typical day in your life. I mean, we get, the real estate stuff, you're crazy busy because you're at the point in your business where you're selling lots of real estate. But maybe first break down like what a typical workday looks like, but also like personal life stuff. Like when do you have a start day? Do you have a hard end time? How do you fit all of that stuff in?
Yeah. So like, Monday through Friday, I'm very consistent with work. So like I get to the office around 8 or 8:30. I am one of those people that I do go into my office. Now I'm going to start, like I just made this decision yesterday, so I'll try it out. I'm going to start working from home 2 days a week, but that will be literally what I do here. It's just going to be at home. So I do go into my office right now and I get here about 8:15, 8:30. My husband drops my kids off in the morning and I pick them up. So I work appointments at the computer, whatever I need to do. I am full work mode from 8 to 2:30. 2:30 is when I leave to go get my kids. So for those, how many hours? 6.5 hours. That is work time. That's a good chunk of work. And then I always go get the kids. We talk, whatever. I get home. My daughter just turned 13, so she's always taking a nap after school. And then my son just doesn't care about anything. So if I need to do any more work, I'll do it before Zach gets home at 5. And then after 5, it's like family time, doing laundry, eating dinner. If I have an appointment at night and I have to do it, I'll do it then. If I have an appointment after hours, my Callie usually goes with me so we can just have some time together. That is literally, I am the most boring person. I go to work and I go home, and that is exactly how I like it. I love my boring life.
Love that. And, I tell people the road to success is boring. It's the day-to-day, the habits, the habits, the disciplines, and just doing like whatever it is that you have that day, the lead gen, the follow-up, the servicing of clients, just day in and day out. There's no like magic moment, you know.
My weeks look very like Monday and Thursday are hair wash days. I never like all the women out there will understand that. Like I watch, like I don't watch a ton of TV, but I will watch Survivor on a Wednesday night at 8 p.m. with my husband, right? Like that we live the same days over and over and over again. But I have found sometimes I'll want to get out of that rhythm, and I that is not where I live. Like I find it best that if my life has a rhythm. And so my life has rhythm right now. Even going on vacation, when I get back, I'm like, oh my God, I need a vacation from vacation, because I get back into the rhythm of things. But I love this rhythm. I have not always loved this rhythm. It's just something you learn to love.
So tell me something too, because I'm thinking of agents that I coach and train, and, you know, myself going in and out of struggling with this is because real estate never sleeps, right? You hear it all the time, and it's true. So so in that time where you're like, hey, family time, 5 o'clock on evenings, you know, minus whatever, an appointment or whatever, do you do a really good job of setting expectations for clients and other agents not to call you during family time? Or do you just not answer your phone? Or because like I find the ebbs and flows can be what's difficult of like when you get some stuff under contract, and for you always have stuff under contract because of your volume. Yeah. So how do you like not make this, you know, tension in your family of like working past 5 o'clock, because real estate doesn't stop at 5 o'clock?
Yeah. And I feel like also I love this job. I love this job so much that if like, even after 5, I could sit there and work on work. And I would be happy with it, because the more I work, like the more streamlined my business gets. Like after hours, I'm usually, if I do work, I'm working on systems. I'm working on the stuff that no one sees. But I will say my phone does go on do not disturb at 6 p.m. I did a software update on my iPhone, and it like did that, and I like love it. So I will not change it. And so I do that. But when I onboard buyers and I onboard sellers, when they agree to work with me, I send a full, like, this is what you can expect. This is how I work. And I set expectations. I feel like we as realtors do not do a good enough job with managing expectations. Listen, if you text me, I'm not going to text you right back. Okay. It will take me probably an hour to text you back. The service that you get will be really good service. You just have to be a little patient with me. And that is, if it doesn't work for some people, it's okay. I'm not a match for everyone. I don't want to serve everyone. And it kind of just weeds those people out. But for agents, like obviously we're very listing heavy. We have lots of contracts going. If they call me after 6, it will go to my voicemail. I'll listen to it. If I need to respond, I will respond. If not, it's going to wait till the morning. So after I get to work. So now, like if my kids they're off with their friends, or they're at volleyball practice, or they're at church, or my husband takes my son to the gym and Callie's just kind of like, whatever. I will get on my phone and return phone calls, or I'll get on the nights always look a little different, just depending on what it is. But that's normally how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's super helpful. It's creating the discipline and the habit first. It's enforcing what you want your boundaries to be like that. I think that's the hardest part that I hear from agents, and I've experienced myself, is because I can get easily sucked in because I like the work too. And it makes me feel better. Like I'm one of those people where I'm like, I can relax once the house is clean. Like once dinner's cleaned up and once the kitchen's clean, then I can sit down for a movie. And it drives my husband crazy because he's like, can you just not do that for a minute? Like, you know, but it's the same. I have the same mindset in work. It's like, if someone calls me and they have a question, I'm like, oh, that would take me 2 minutes to answer. So even though it's 8 p.m., like I just want to get it done so my brain can relax. So I have to work so hard at turning it off. And I think, you know, not everyone's like that, but a lot of high driving real estate professionals have that issue, but it is life-changing when you actually stick to what those boundaries are, because that stuff bleeds into family life. You know, if you have a family, and it has a big impact on that. And so a lot of times when I'm coaching people, it's about like, hey, how's your family doing? Like, how does wifey feel about all these hours, you know, transitioning into this or whatever it might be. So I'm glad you hit on points, because people struggle is either setting expectations with their clients, or it's not following through on that, or not even knowing that, you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
Yeah. So like setting expectations. And then as soon as I get done talking to someone, like a seller or a buyer, I'm like, here's when you can probably expect to hear from me. And that way they don't call. Like I could say, I'm going to try to get feedback. I'll call you back. And then them 10 minutes, hey, did you get feedback? And I'm like, no, I was actually going to do that after lunch. Like I wasn't doing it now. And so, yeah, the miscommunication. So it's like setting expectations, and then those expectations have to continue to be set, right? Like you have to, like, yeah. So that would solve a lot of our problems if we were to do that.
100%. I love that. This is really this is the practical stuff that people need to hear. And like, this is how you do it. And you have to reinforce it, and you have to be consistent with it, just like you have to do in lead gen. There's all these other soft skills and habits that I think are sometimes just as important as all the nuts and bolts that you hear all the time with real estate. So I appreciate you going deep on that. So out of curiosity, is there a sacrifice that you made or like still make to this day to continue to build this business? Like, do you feel like, okay, the level of production that I'm in, and the service that I do and my standards and all that, is there anything that you feel like you have to sacrifice in life for that?
Yeah, there's a couple things. I have a love-hate relationship with social media, right? Because like now my personal Facebook page, where I get most of my business, is actually not my personal page anymore. It's my business. So now there has to be, my husband said something so funny. Now you have to think, like, my kids are teenagers now, so he can say like funny adult kind of type things at the table. We were out at dinner, and I was like, that would be so funny to post to our friends and family on social media, but I can't, because like now like all the customers are on there. So you have to so now there's a filter on my personal social media, right? That's okay, right? That's just a cost of doing business on social media. And then also, like, when you grow a business, no one's going to love your baby like you love your baby, right? So like there is a cost of, and I don't normally say this to people because I don't want people to think like, wow, you have to do all of this to run a successful business. You don't. But like when you become obsessed with your business, like every successful person has a little bit of deliriousness like in them, right? I don't even know if that's a word, but that's how I feel. So I get up really early, and I do whatever I need to do, have a quiet start, whatever. And then I'll pull my laptop on top of me and I'll just get to work like before, you know what I mean? Like so I kind of sacrifice slow mornings, the first 10 minutes of my morning is about slow, but then I'm right to work. Like there's all of my admin are so busy, right? And they get to come in at 8 and they get to go home at 5. And they're just like, that's the job, right? And so they don't get paid like I get paid. So someone's got to do the extra work to develop systems, to figure out, okay, how can I make that automation not happen like that? How to do that has to fall on someone, and that falls on me. So I have to get up early in the morning and fix all of the issues that we had yesterday so that they're not issues today. So I do sacrifice some morning time, like in my social media. I would say those are the big things that I've sacrificed family time in the past, but now I'm at the point where I have to sacrifice different things.
Yep, 100%. That makes sense. So let's talk about burnout a little bit, and we've touched on it some, but was there a moment in your career, any time that you either hit burnout or almost did or whatever, and how did you recover from that? What did you do?
I think I have hit burnout several times, but the biggest one happened after Hurricane Ian hit Florida. We were we headed up all of like the hurricane relief. Our county was completely devastated. And so we were here just grinding the real estate. People would still call me and they're like, are we still closing? I'm like, people don't have we're not closing. But after that, I was tired all the time. I would come to work and I was just ill. I was so mean. I was rude. It was terrible to even think back on. And my mom was like, you need to go have your blood work done. And now at that time, as real estate agents, most of us don't have health insurance, right? So I'm like, no, I don't need to. I don't have health insurance. I'm not going to the doctor. I'm at that time, I think I was like 33 years old. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And, but everyone, even my husband's like, you need to go get your blood work done. And I'm like, okay, enough said. So I went and got my blood work done. And the doctor was like, I don't even know how you're still working. And I'm like, because you got to, right? Like we just
like, mine don't matter.
And she's like, you should be on the couch sleeping all the time. I can understand why you're so tired. I had developed an autoimmune disease. And I asked the doctor, I'm like, how did this happen? Like how did it happen to me? And she's like, you happened to you. Like you did it. You overworked yourself. You're probably experiencing burnout. I'm like, yes. And she said, you made this autoimmune disease happen to you. And so that's something I have to live with my entire life. I cannot be healed of that autoimmune disease. And so I still have to take medicine for it. I still have to get regular scans, body scans, to see if there's any cancer in my body. I have to do that every 6 months, and regular blood tests and everything. So that burnout did that to me. And that happened in 2022. So that is just a constant reminder. So that was like my pivotal moment where I was like, I have to do it my way if real estate's going to be a part of my life. And I think also though, when I had that mindset switch of like, I'll run it how I want to run it. And if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You start to lean more into your strengths, like your God-given talents that sometimes we suppress because we feel like we have to do it a certain way. Yeah. And when you lean more into those talents and those just advantages that you naturally possess, your business does like do so much better. Like, and you do find the people that you're like, these are my people. Like the business I have now, I'm obsessed with way more than the ones that I had in 2022,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. And it is, like you said, such a good reminder. And I think it's really cool that you're willing to share that, because that's a vulnerable thing, that's not, I'm sure, something you want to talk about all the time, but I appreciate you talking about that, because your story could literally help, even if it helped one other person to not get to that point and not to have a lifelong autoimmune, issue.
If you feel off, if you feel tired all the time, like if you have no libido, if you have like all of those personal things, like you'll only know for you, like just go get your blood tested. Like it's really not a huge deal, and just have them just run a scan and just see. And I think stress, this is what happened to me. Stress literally will kill you. Like it literally kills parts of your body. But there's so much like happiness also heals your body, right? Like, so doing it like to make you happy, and what makes you happy, doing that is going to heal your body as well. So that is what I would say. Like you have to keep that stress. Now there are pockets of stress. Like if one of my, seller passes away when we're under contract, there's stress, but it's just little moments of it. Right. And there's just realizing like there's stuff that I can't control.
Yep. 100%. And it's so much easier said than done.
Totally.
And just acknowledging and recognizing that doesn't change your circumstance, but the way you handle it, what you do to help mitigate some of that stress can drastically change how it's impacting your body when you do those things. So, okay. Well, a little more lighthearted note. Tell me about your day off. So I know you do, like, Sundays are your day off. So what does that look like for you?
Oh my goodness. No makeup, just skincare. And I'm in a tank top with shorts by my pool. Like I'm literally just like by my pool. Normally I start off like with my Bible in my lap, like just trying to just kind of like calm down, get focused for the new week, and just not even for the new week, but just like trying to take off the old week, right? Like just getting work off my mind, just focusing on like, I'm just outside in nature I love direct sunlight. Like that's why I live in Florida. It's like in the sun for moments of time and just chilling. There's no, I don't have to do anything. I can do laundry if I want. I can lay in bed if I want. Like I give myself full permission, whatever my body and mind need that day, that's what I'm doing. So that sometimes that's chilling in my pool. Sometimes that's laying by the pool. Sometimes that's laying in bed watching Gilmore Girls with my daughter. Sometimes that's like making this whole dinner that I want. Sometimes it's going to my family's house and hanging out with my nephews. Like whatever I want to do that day, that's what I do.
And do you truly, truly not look at your email, not look at your phone? I mean, is it like no matter what? Or do you have little like, you know, I like the nitty gritty because it's real life, you know, it's like easy stuff, you know, but.
So my Sunday mornings, like I will put my phone down and not look at them. Around lunchtime, I'll take a peek and just see if there's anything urgent, like especially if we're dealing with a deadline, like an inspection deadline or something. Obviously, like I have to take care of that. Definitely no appointments on Sundays at all. I will look at my phone here and there just to make sure there's no. But if it's a buyer, like, hey, is this on city water or sewer? You ain't getting a text from me. No. Now, my Sunday ends at 5 p.m. on Sunday night. So like I'm work free from like the time I wake up, which is normally like on a Sunday, like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 p.m. That's Monday. I am getting ready for the week. I'm answering calls, answering emails. That is like getting me, because if I don't do that, my Monday morning, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? Right? Because real estate is busy on the weekends. So 5 p.m. on Sunday turns into Monday, and I clear on my calendar. I look, is there anything that will take me less than 5 minutes to do? I'll go ahead and do that. I'll look and see what I need to prep for the week, all of that.
Perfect. I love that. I'm glad I asked you that secondary question because like it just, because that's the real part. And that's why I try to get into and what that looks like. This stuff is super helpful. So a couple like strategy mindset type of things. Is there a book, a podcast, a resource that changed how you operate? You're like, everyone needs to read or listen to this. Like, what are
Atomic
those?
Habits, number one.
James Clear, yes.
I love Atomic Habits. Something I read earlier this year that really helped me, and it really made me, I feel like a better mom, better real estate agent, better coach, is The Gap in the Game. I love that. Like trying to figure out like the losses are also wins, right? Like clearing that mindset in your head is like, okay, let's just get real tactical. I lose 5 listings in 2 months. That could absolutely put me in like a coma. I'm the worst real estate agent ever. No one was going to trust me, blah, 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 blah. But what did I learn from those? And can I post that? Can I make that a social media post? Absolutely. And then that will create more business. I am not dwelling on the loss. What is the win from that? Like, what's the gain from it? Like, I can post that. I actually went to all 5 of those lists. Every time I go to listing, I post a picture of my listing box. Yeah. That's social media, right? Like, what did that person say? And how can I turn that into a social media post? This person asked me, a seller recently asked me this question, and I think more people should know the answer to this question. And then we go out and like, that's the win. We're turning the gaps into wins.
That's awesome. Love it. Okay, cool. When you're in the car, are you is it silence? Is it music? Is it podcast and learning? Like what's your,
it's like, I'm chaos. Sometimes I'm like sitting by myself, like maybe I mess up on the phone and I'm just like, oh my God, I could just run off the road right now. Sometimes I'm like listening to hip hop music. Sometimes I'm listening to worship music, crying my eyes out. Sometimes there's an audiobook on. Sometimes there's a podcast on. Like sometimes my daughter has left Taylor Swift on and Taylor Swift's blaring. Like it could be a whole bunch of things.
Love it. Love it. Well, that's like real life, right? The theme song for your life is in the car. Yeah. Okay. So do you have like a mantra or a phrase that you live by in business and like that kind of, and it's okay if you don't, but is it like, there's some things that you like live by in your business?
What is for me, God will never let it pass me by. I always have to say that. Like, what is for me? If it's not for me, like, please take it away, God. Like, I just constantly repeat that to myself. Like, if it's for me, I can't mess it up, right? Like, if it's for me.
Mm-hmm. Love that. So before we get to our rapid fire round, which is fun, it's a little this or that questions. What is next for you? What do the next 6-12 months look like? How are you scaling, leveling up? What's the next stage for you?
So I'm I'm a solo agent, but I'm admin heavy. So like it's like a little tiny, it's a team, but it's not a team. And so the next hire will be a showing partner for me. I'm done showing houses and doing open houses. There's just not enough time now. And then I just hired a virtual assistant. I love me some Carlos. He's awesome. Then I've started coaching. So I've found a love of that. So there will be some fun things happening in 2026 for that. And yeah, I think just keep doing what I'm doing. I now officially have teenagers, so like spending more time with them, saving up for vehicles, and doing more family vacations. That's something that is a goal of mine for this year. And then I hit that goal for family vacations. It's not a goal of like closings anymore. It's like, how much can we give? How much family time can we have? So that will be a goal for next year. So yeah, making real estate serve me better.
Awesome. Love that. Okay. So now I do this every single Hypesy interview. It's my rapid fire, this or that. So it's just two things and you have just your gut instinct, no explanation.
Okay.
And are you ready? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Cold calls or content creation?
Content creation.
Open houses or online leads?
Open houses.
Instagram reels or TikTok lives?
Oh, TikTok lives.
Listing side or buyer side?
Listing.
Posting daily or batching weekly?
Posting daily.
Talking head videos or behind the scenes clips?
Ooh, behind the scenes.
Date night out or cozy night in?
Oh, cozy night in, I think.
Organized CEO energy or creative chaos?
The first one.
Organized CEO energy. I know that was a lot to say. Okay.
Yes.
Which hits harder? Mom guilt or boss guilt?
Mom guilt.
If you had to give up one, coffee or social media?
Coffee. I don't like coffee.
Oh, okay. Well, that was easy. For most people, like, oh, that's really hard. Okay, you survived. That was a pretty easy one. I feel like
Yeah.
it was easy on you on that round. Okay, you made it.
Yay!
Okay, so before we wrap up, a couple things. So for an agent who maybe is still small, but aspires to be at the level that you're at and, hitting 100 plus closings a year, and they want to explode, they have the drive, the desire, what is your go do this 2-day action item that somebody could do right now?
It's not going to be what most agents will say. It is very easy. Now, I'm going to say, oh God, please don't hear my heart. It is easy to go out and find business. Okay. You just have to do the work, right? But how I ran my business for the first 8 years was I just knew how to get business, but I did not know how to serve those people with systems and automations and processes and organization. So if you know you're going to go big, spend 50% prospecting and 50% working on your business, not in it, on your business, systems, processes, get checklists ready, workflows, all of that, so that each customer feels like they're having the exact same high level experience. That would be my one action tip. Do all the research on systems, get everything organized, run your business like an actual business, not out of chaos.
Yes. Love that. I know I tell people doing the right things. When I get a new agent, I'm like, okay, I know what all of your struggles are going to be. I know what you the temptations are to, squirrel, whatever. And if you can start tagging right, if you can make notes, if you can use your CRM system, I know you think you're going to remember all these conversations you had. Maybe you can, because you're only having 5 conversations a week. But when it gets to 50 conversations a week, and you're not in the habit of logging the note, tracking them in the CRM, setting a follow-up task, just do the monotonous habits that it takes, in the beginning, and it'll make it so much easier to scale. So
the basics still work. And do not have shiny object syndrome. You do not need every virtual course out there. You do not need every coach out there. You actually just need to do the things that you're avoiding.
Well, there you go. There you go. So you guys, for the people that are listening right now who, or just for you, Brandi, that if they want to learn from you, work with you, follow you, see what you're building, tell us, where can they find you? What's the best way for someone to plug into your world?
So Facebook is going to be my personal Facebook. That's number one. You get everything from me there. And that's just my name, Brandi Long.
Awesome. And then if someone wanted to, so you got Facebook, is there any like a particular website or like buyers and sellers and agents should reach out to you there? Is that the best way?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Everyone reaches out to me there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, final question for you before we wrap up. Is there anything that we didn't cover today that's burning on your heart that you feel like you wanted to share?
No. You covered so much. I've done so many of these podcasts and we covered so much on this one that I was like, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Okay, no, and that's perfect. That's great. I'm like, oh, good. Then I asked some good questions. I think for that little boost. No, but we really did. And it's like, you're just one of those people that I feel like so many people can learn from. Like people would be so well served as a buyer or seller working with you. I trust you with referrals. I trust you with agents like coming to you and learning from you. And so I just super appreciate you coming on today and sharing all the things and being vulnerable with us. So
I am so happy to be here. I'm honored to even be on your podcast. I think of you as like this angel. Like I've learned so much from you just watching you. And so I'm honored to be here.
Well, thank you. All right. And for those of you watching, whether this is live or a replay, this is Brandi Long. And if you didn't know her before this episode, now you for sure do. So go check her out. Realtor, mom, wife, absolute powerhouse. And you guys, she is proof that you can crush your goals and protect your peace. You can grow a business and still love your life because success isn't just about more deals. It's about designing a life that actually works for you. So this was the Hype Seat, and we'll see you next time.